Hello and welcome to Danish-InfoNewsTv, your Danish English news updates and business from February 10th through 16th. Here are today's main stories. Police warn that counterfeit 20 krona coins are circulating in southern Jutland. Inmates at several prisons stage a peaceful protest over healthcare conditions. A 100-year-old nursing home resident dies following an assault, with a 69-year-old remanded in custody. New rules now allow more offenders to serve sentences at home with electronic ankle monitors. Unsolicited digital harassment of minors. The region of southern Denmark reports mail distributor Dow over hospital delivery failures. And a former priest admits in court to possessing a large amount of child sexual abuse material. Stay with us for the full details. To the first of our main story from Wednesday, February 11th, police warn of fake 20 krona coins in South and Southern Jutland. Police warn that counterfeit 20 krona coins are in circulation. 7 cases have been reported so far. Police Commissioner Jacob Benega says the cases range from single fake coins to several thousand krona in counterfeit payments. Citizens and businesses are urged to stay alert and hunt suspicious coins to police. Shops can refuse more than 25 coins of the same denomination and cash payments of 15,000 krona or more. Some fake coins are marked 2021 and look unusually shiny. Details in Queen Margrethe's portrait, the coat of arms, lettering, or weight may reveal counterfeits. To a different main story from Thursday, February 12th, unsolicited digital harassment of minors, a growing trend where children and adolescents receive unsolicited sexual content online. It follows the experience of a young girl who at age 13 began chatting with an adult truck driver on Snapchat. While the conversation started with mundane daily life, it abruptly shifted when the man sent a video of himself engaged in sexual act and close-up photos of his genitals. At the time, the teenager felt shocked and confused. When she sought support from her peers, they dismissed the incident, suggesting that receiving such images from men was a normal part of being online. The psychology behind the harassment. Experts explained that this behavior is often driven by a primitive need for validation or attention. Risk mitigation. Offenders often send photos of genitals rather than their faces because of rejection of their face feels more personal and damaging to their ego. Kindergarten-level behavior. The act is compared to a child misbehaving to get attention. The sender lacks the social skills to seek connection in a constructive way. Widespread issue. Data shows that 69% of 9 to 17-year-olds have experienced some form of digital harassment or unpleasant online encounter within the past year. To a main story from Saturday, February 14th. Inmates refuse to be locked in. Now 5 years of complaints are being reviewed. A number of inmates at the prisons in Mølkær, Renbæk and Sønder carried out a peaceful protest Tuesday evening by refusing to return to their cells at lockup time. The action was intended to highlight dissatisfaction with healthcare services in the prisons. Around 140 inmates participated in Mølkær. The inmates demanded to speak with management, and after dialogue they were temporarily locked in common areas before later returning to their cells. According to joint spokesperson Henrik Christensen, the protest remained calm and the purpose was to get management to take the problem seriously. The protest follows a complaint sent to the director of Denmark's Prison and Probation Service, in which inmates describe examples of missing or delayed medical treatment, as well as criticism of medication management. The criticism comes after several reported cases involving death and serious illnesses in prisons. Denmark's Prison and Probation Service has previously declined to comment on specific cases, but emphasizes that inmates have the right to healthcare treatment and access to a doctor when needed. In another main story from Sunday, February 15th, bedridden resident dies after assault at nursing home, 69-year-old remanded in custody. A bedridden resident at the Kærdalen Care Center in Vejen died following an assault Saturday evening, according to South and Southern Jutland police. A 69-year-old male fellow resident has been charged with assault resulting in the death of the 100-year-old. Following a preliminary hearing at the district court in Esbjerg, he has been remanded in custody for 4 weeks in surrogate detention. The accused pleaded not guilty and has reserved the right to appeal the decision. A reporting ban was imposed during the hearing. Police received the report Saturday evening and have since carried out technical investigations at the nursing home. The relatives have been notified and the investigation continues. To a different main story from Sunday, February 15th, new electronic tag rules take effect. As of today, individuals sentenced up to 1 year in prison may serve their sentence at home with an electronic ankle monitor. Previously, the limit was 6 months, according to Denmark's Prison and Probation Service. The scheme requires, among other things, that the convicted person have suitable housing and be generally employed or in education. Persons convicted of violent crimes are not eligible. The purpose is both to prevent reoffending and to relieve pressure on prisons. According to authorities, 30% of prison inmates receive a new sentence within 2 years, compared to 20% of those serving with electronic monitoring. The new rules also allow earlier transition to electronic monitoring during a sentence. 1 day with an ankle monitor costs around 500 krona, about 1/4 of the cost of a prison place. Last year, an average of 390 people per day served their sentence with electronic monitoring. Still on Sunday, February 15th, the region of southern Denmark reports DAO to the Data Protection Agency. DAO's top management has been summoned to a meeting with the region. Several hospitals have recently experienced mailbags being left in publicly accessible areas, including unattended entrance halls. This violates delivery agreements and has led to the disposal of diagnostic samples as well as the risk of breaches of personal data security. However, there are no signs that personal data has been misused. At the same time, severely delayed letters have created challenges for patients waiting for appointment notices and test results. According to the region, the risk to patient safety is very low, as hospitals have procedures to resend letters or contact patients by phone if they fail to appear. Citizens participating in screening programs for colorectal and cervical cancer are specifically urged to pay attention. If a test kit is not received on time or results are missing, individuals should contact the region screening secretariat or their general practitioner. The problems arose after DAO took over mail distribution from PostNord at the turn of the year. The transition has been marked by thousands of complaints about delays. According to DAO, the errors are partly due to collection outside hospital opening hours and insufficient sorting capacity at the terminal in Fredericia, which has caused letters to be misrouted and delivery times to increase. The region of southern Denmark has called DAO's top management to a meeting and has temporarily assigned extra staff to review mail deliveries to limit the consequences. DAO acknowledges that the errors are unacceptable, apologizes to patients and hospitals, and expects deliveries to stabilize during March. To the last of our main stories from Monday, February 16th, former priest admits possession of child sexual abuse material. Now, former priest today admitted in the district court in Nestville to possessing more than 80,000 images and videos containing child sexual abuse material. "I'm incredibly sorry for what I've done," the former priest said, according to Ritzau. The 60-year-old man worked as a parish priest in Hoslew Parish in South Zealand, but was first placed on sick leave, then suspended and later resigned from his position as a result of the case. Sentencing will take place on February 25th, when the court will determine both the length of the sentence and the prosecution's request that the priest be stripped of the right to work as such. According to Extrabladet, the prosecutor is seeking a sentence of at least 6 months in prison and argued that the punishment could range between 8 and 9 months, while the defense believes he should receive no more than 5 months in prison. Now to other news. We begin on Tuesday, February 10th. Denmark ranked the least corrupt country for the 8th year in a row. Denmark tops Transparency International's list. The score fell slightly from 90 to 89, scale 1 to 100. Widespread social dumping in construction. Half of 7,800 plus inspections between 2020 and 2024 revealed violations. Over 3,700 led to tax fee corrections. Swedish boy suspected of planned murder in Denmark. Under 15 boy alleged recruited by a criminal network found in Helsingborg after police action in Sweden and Denmark. 10 men arrested in cocaine case with Danish link. Over 1 ton of cocaine involved. Arrest made in Portugal. 47-year-old arrested for supermarket assault, charged with multiple offenses including threats and violence, due in Rana's court. A 33-year-old sentenced to custody for violence and indecent acts, convicted of 8 offenses in 2024, including assaults on educators in Fyn and North Jutland. 45-year-old arrested for arson in Herning apartment building, suspected of setting fire, due in preliminary hearing. Man failed to appear for electronic monitoring, released by Hillerød Court, denies charges for not attending for ankle monitoring installation. Wednesday, February 11th. Greenland may drop Danish lessons from the younger students, a proposal to remove Danish from the early school curriculum as part of a large school reform. Pirate taxi robbery in Copenhagen. 20-year-old charged with multiple thefts, including a Rolex worth over 100,000 krona, and forcing victims to open mobile banking apps. Fraudulent gold ring purchase in Copenhagen. 2 men bought rings with someone else's Apple Pay. 1 arrested for data fraud. Unusual narcotic case on the Faroe Islands. A Færing sentenced to 12 years and 3 months and a Dane to 12 years and 7 months for smuggling liquid narcotics. Both appealed. 3 men were arrested for using fake 20 krona coins, attempted payment at Bilka in Herning. All 3 were presented in court. Porsche driver jailed for 5 years. Faizan Sadri Arfan killed a man in a traffic accident in Valby, Copenhagen. A 36-year-old caught driving with over 3% alcohol was sentenced to 20 days, conditional, a 3-year license revocation and deportation, and his car was confiscated. 13-year-old in police chase near Holstebro refused to stop, ran 3 red lights, and stopped after a controlled collision. 2 other minors in the car. 47-year-old remanded for supermarket assault, charged with multiple counts of violence and threats in Ørsted, Jutland. Listeria case in Esbjerg. 2 individuals and polar salmon yachting lax charged, linked to at least 27 illnesses and 4 deaths. New state sector labor agreement, 3-year deal signed. Soldiers receive 275 million krona in salary increase. 19-year-old prisoner escape in Rønne, still at large after escaping during dentist visit, not considered dangerous. Flu cases are rising sharply. Hospitalizations are now at a very high level, according to SSI. Thursday, February 12th. Snow clearing caused a surge in injuries. Genseli reports unusually high claims for back, shoulder, and lumbar injuries, and reminds people to treat snow clearing as physical activity. Police spotter jailed. 25-year-old receives 20 days unconditional for acting as a spotter during an illegal street race in Gladsaxe. 29-year-old jailed for dog abuse, sentenced to 50 days and banned from owning animals for 4 years. The divorce rate is the highest since 2020. Over 14,300 divorces in 2025. The number of first-time marriages is also increasing. 26-year-old extradited from Morocco to face charges for complicity in murder and attempted murder in Tingbia, July of 2025. 27-year-old extradited from Sweden, suspected of violent home robbery in Faxe Læreplas, due in court. Increased police presence after knife attacks. Viby near Aarhus saw several robberies and assaults. Suspects still at large. 4 arrested after hospital parking incidents. Car hit 2 vehicles and entrance at Kolding Hospital. Driver charged with reckless driving under alcohol and drugs. Lufthansa strike disrupts flights. About 500 flights cancelled. 15 Danish flights affected. Temo to pay for product waste. Chinese platform agrees to cover disposal cost of products ending up in Danish trash. Foreign workers are less criminal than Danes. CEPOS analysis shows employment reduces crime rates. Asylum seekers, family reunifications are still a higher risk. Men's life expectancy reaches 80 years. The first time ever, women remain higher at 83.9 years. Friday, February 13th. Defense agreement with Canada signed. Strengthens cooperation, signed by Denmark, Faroe Islands and Greenland ministers in Munich. Snowplow driver arrested for drug driving. 45-year-old tested positive for cocaine. A small amount was found in the vehicle. 4 men charged in Søborg shooting. 1 man killed, 12-year-old girl injured. Prosecutors seeking long prison sentences. 26-year-old sells prescription drugs via Snapchat. Pregabalin seized, woman also implicated. 37-year-old man arrested for 11 burglaries, targeted cash and valuables, including emptying a child's piggy bank. 40-year-old jailed for assault at girls' football match, 40 days unconditional for attacking a 13-year-old. Record number of pensioners working, over 97,000 employed while receiving a pension, up by 49% in 3 years. Saturday, February 14th. Singles at higher risk of stress and depression. 17% high risk, 15% moderate. Study by Falk across all ages. Denmark opens embassy in Rwanda. Lars Løkke Rasmussen to visit Kigali for inauguration. Gang conflict is likely underway in Odense. LTF versus the Korsløkke group, linked to the early February explosion in Korsløkkeparken. Knife robbery in Horsens. Rema 1000 cashier threatened. Suspect fled with cash, described as 20 to 30 years old. 170 to 185 centimeter tall. Region Jutland to remind women of diabetes follow-up, targeting post-mortem, gestational diabetes checks. Hospitals are under pressure for influenza. 33 admitted, 24 with flu. Staff is challenged by high occupancy. DSB extends the period with fewer commuter trains, affecting routes between Copenhagen, Odense, Aarhus, Roskilde, and more until February 20th. Danes expect 38 minutes of power outages annually, an increase from 36 minutes, still among the world's highest supply reliability. Winter cold and infection worsen asthma. Asthma Allergy Denmark reports more member complaints. Sunday, February 15. More inmates are to serve sentences with electronic ankle monitors. The law now allows up to 1-year sentences to be served at home, expected to free approximately 100 prison places. Fyn police extend search and high-risk zones in Odense until March 2nd, following early February explosion. 2 men ride motorcycles on frozen Arsø. Ice breaks, bikes sink, men charge under Nature Protection Act. Police dogs caught 3 car burglars in Jutland. Suspects recovered stolen goods and admitted theft. Shopkeeper attacked in Silkeborg after stealing sausages. 34-year-old arrested after assaulting store clerk. Sign language becomes mother tongue instruction in Copenhagen. Children of deaf parents to receive formal education in sign language. 2/3 of parents financially support adult children, ages 18 to 29, averages of almost 2,000 krona for living at home, and just over 1,000 krona for those living out. Now to news from Monday, February 16. Police target suicidal individuals who block traffic. Midt- og Vestjyllands politi are repeatedly charging suicidal persons who obstruct traffic in order to ensure they receive psychiatric help. The psychiatric hotline, Livslinje 70 20 11 01. Man falls 20 meters at Copenhagen Educational Institution. Københavns Professionshøjskole activates crisis protocol. Incident likely a suicide attempt. Man severely injured. Car inspector suspected of bribery in at least 70 cases. Nordjylland synsmand allegedly approved vehicles without inspection, expected to plead guilty. Young Syrian man to be deported for aggravated assault. 6-year entry ban, conviction originally from Venstre Landsret when he was 16. 2 nightclubs were fined over 500,000 krona for illegal alcohol ads. Gore Tom's APS marketed alcohol to minors on Facebook and was found guilty on all 59 charges. 26-year-old charged for trick theft at gas stations. Citizens tip led Syd- og Sønderjyllands politi to arrest in Varde. 2 arrested after summer house burglary, caught on camera. Nordjyllands politi recovered stolen goods. Both suspects apprehended at a rest stop. Now to some Danish business news from February 10th through 16th. Inflation dropped sharply. January of 2026 inflation fell to 0.8% from 1.9% in December of 2025, per Denmark Statistik. Danske Bank opens crypto investments. Customers can now invest in Bitcoin and Ethereum. The bank warns about high risk. Uber launches delivery service in Denmark, part of expansion into 7 European countries, competes with Wolt, DoorDash. Copenhagen apartment prices hit a record high. The average price per square meter reaches just over 70,600 krona, the first time over 70,000 krona. Over 25% of apartments in Aarhus and Copenhagen sold above asking. Boligsiden reports 27.7% in Aarhus and 26.6% in Copenhagen. Novo Nordisk lays off staff in Jørgen. Around 40 employees are let go due to local adjustments. This follows nationwide layoffs of 5,000. Slagelse kommune earns millions from investments. 18.7 million krona earned in 2025 from a 440 million krona portfolio, better than 2022 but lower than 2023 to 2024. Matas businessman Henrik Fredriksen dies at age 81. He made a fortune from buying and selling Matas stores. Those were the main headlines from Danish-InfoNewsTv. We will continue to follow these developing stories and bring you updates as they unfold. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share, and have a safe evening.